All right, folks, we got a good one today. Everybody's hitting me up about these heavy-ass rucksacks. Angelo, United States Marine Corps Infantry, is going to talk to us a little bit about it. Before we get started, I'm Jake Zweig, United States Naval Academy graduate, Navy SEAL, Michigan MBA, all-around mentor to superstars. Boy, we got some good ones. Hey, man, the merch is here. Check the link in the bio. I'll put the QR code on the screen. We got it. It's there. Go get it. Support the channel. As always, we rocking some tasty game gummies. I had them about an hour before this interview. That's responsible for me being kind of crazy and off the chain. Hey, I'm also taking the creatine gummies now. I know I told you I would never do that, but once I found out that they help your brain by 59%, I'm all over those too. All right, Angelo, talk to me, man. You went to Marine Corps 2009 in the middle of the firefight, correct?
Yeah, I enlisted in 2008.
2000.
Yep. I was 17. I was right out of high school. Enlisted in 2008, and they were handing out that O3XX, sign-in bonus. So I got the sign-in bonus for 5 years, and I did that for 5 years. I was with the 2nd LAR, and then we got attached to 2-2 for our second deployment, and then I think it was 2011, 2012. We were slated for another deployment, but they ended up pushing it, so it didn't fit within my contract. But I did the entire workup for that one.
So you got
But
two full combat deployments in a 5-year.
The second one was a MEU, so it wasn't combat.
Okay, yeah. So like it's crazy because my dudes in the early 2000s, like we're getting like 4 deployments in 4.5 years, like 5 years, like they were doing. Yeah, man, they were dying.
Well, the second one, it was gonna work out that way, but the second deployment, we ended up leaving. We were supposed to go to Afghanistan right off the ship, but Libya's civil war kicked off. So we left like 4 months early, and we were just basically on the ship because our platoon was supposed to be trap and Sparrowhawk, so doing like down pilots and stuff like that. Not that they would actually have. I mean, they may have in an extreme emergency, but I'm sure they would have just called PJs or something. But that was so we were just on call for that whole thing while they're flying. They're shooting off flight ops for the whole time. So we're just sitting on that ship for like 2.5 months. I was actually telling my wife, I was like, I look back on it, and it's like that first week, 2 weeks, I was so depressed on that ship because there's no sunlight, there's nothing. You can't do nothing. And like, especially if they're doing flight ops 24/7, you don't even get to go on the flight deck. You just sitting down there in the berthing, just like, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah, man.
It was bad.
Yeah, and you got to have a computer. You got to have something to do. I did half of an ARG. And I was just like, it sucked. And we weren't on the ship a lot as SEALs, but it just sucked. You can't be a warfighter or a grunt stuck in the bowels of a ship in berthing with 1,000 people, honey running around acting crazy and shit,
Yep.
All right, brother.
And then go ahead.
No, you're good.
You're talking about the berthing, gunnies running around the berthing. Is like we had our first sergeant for weapons company. He decided he was going to stay with us, so it was our first sergeant and our master sergeant. We're chilling there in our berthing, and it was just like, oh hell. They were okay though.
Did you guys have a tattoo man?
What do you mean?
So like a lot of times, one of the dudes in the Marine Corps detachment will be a tattoo guy doing tattoos. And so they'll have like a closet tattoo dude. He'll be in a closet somewhere just tattooing everybody the whole deployment. He'll be sitting there making bank.
No, we didn't have any of that. When we stopped off in, I think it was Portugal, everybody was just getting their tattoos from Portugal.
Gotcha. All right, brother, talk to me, man. You had a banger ass comment, and I said, man, let me get you on here to kind of tell that story, and we don't have to have a long one today. It'll be good. Like I saw your comment and I know exactly what you're talking about. We're trying to explain to these people that light shit doesn't exist in combat.
Because I remember sitting there, we were just a couple of months, like maybe a month or two ago, me and my wife, we go on this little hike, up a mountain, and I got our child on my back, and I remember my traps were hurting, and I was just like, she don't weigh but like 28 pounds. I don't know what happened to me. And I started talking about it, and I was telling her how much, just like in the plate carrier alone, that's if you were lucky you had a plate carrier in the Marine Corps. I was lucky I had a plate carrier. That thing was 25 pounds by itself, slick, no ammo, just no water weight, just the side sappies, and the plate or the plate carrier itself. And then, you take your Kevlar into account. We had the old school Kevlars because this is 2008. We didn't have no fancy Mitch helmets. And then, your rifle, if you're not a saw gunner or a 240 gunner, it's still going, that's minimum 30 plus pounds, being conservative, being real, like nice. And it's like, that's not what you carry though. Like you're going to have to carry stuff to continue the mission and things like that. And then it's like mission specific too, right? So I don't think people realize it's like, you're not just leaving. Like I was watching the one video where the guy made that comment I don't know his name. He's in the special forces.
Oh, you talking about Nate?
Yeah. Well, I think that kind of spurred all of this.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just sitting there thinking, I was like, yeah, I mean, if you're there for a direct action mission, I mean, like you're only gonna bring like ammo and water, and then you're gonna be in and out. You're not gonna want to carry all that stuff. And so of course, SEAL team guys, that's what they've been doing most of this time. Now when you have to do any type of reconnaissance, now we're talking like like they were talking about. You got to bring in all your observation equipment. You got to bring in all of the radios, and you might have to bring in satellite equipment, because if you don't have comms, like you're kind of screwed. It's like
and the computer,
we were.
Right? Like
Yeah.
we out in the field with a Nikon super digital camera and a computer, and it took like 30 minutes to upload every picture we took.
Yep.
And then
I was just about to say that.
Yeah,
Yep.
you got to have batteries. You got to have batteries for all the fucking things, and the batteries are just chewing away, and the computer's working at fucking baby speed.
And it's like we were lucky because LAR has those vehicles, right? So. But there were times where, like, especially like on my last workup, where it's like where we would train like we don't have the vehicles. We did it every workup. We would always train like we don't have the vehicles, and we would train with the vehicles. So in that instance, like especially my third workup, because I was a squad leader at the time. It was like I was always really good at like humping and doing rucks and stuff like that. So I would always take the extra weight for the most part. And it's like you got binos, you've got your thermals, that have to hook up to the satellites or to all your devices to upload those pictures and stuff. It's like that stuff. Like I can't remember how much it weighs in total, but I just remember just being like, God damn, man, I'm not gonna do anything with this. And it's like. It's just wild, and then you still have to have your own personal gear. You got to have your sleeping system. You got to have your change of socks, MREs, like the one fellow was saying. It's like you can't. It's not light. Just just the flak alone. 160 pounds. I'm coming out of there over 200 pounds with just a flak. At the time I was 160 pounds, just flak and Kevlar and rifle and ammo. So it's like you start adding in. Your assault pack, and then all the ammo and stuff. It's like, it's insane. My first deployment, our saw gunner would carry 1,000 rounds. It was standard. And then the A gunner would carry another 1,000 rounds. So we always had 2,000 rounds at any given time. So it's like, if you're a saw gunner too, it's like you're carrying a lot of weight,
Our 60 gunners carried 1,000 rounds. 7.62. 1,000 rounds, 1,000 round, 100 rounds is 6.64 ounces or 6.64 pounds. I had somebody send that to me. So think about that. That dude got 66 pounds of bullets,
ammo,
and a 22-pound gun. 100 pounds just in bullets and gun and nothing else.
Yep. It's because my second deployment, I was a gunner. Part of that was I had the 240 Bravo for if we weren't using the vehicles. I had the 240 Bravo, and that's exactly what it was. And we would, in my A gunner, he would carry the tripod, and it was just like that thing too. It seems like it's not a lot, but it's like, and you're going on these long patrols or a long hump or even just shooting a range. It's like you don't like, especially you're running and you're like, I'll just use the range for example. If you're shooting a range, you don't realize, especially once you see all these different moving parts, that range may end up being like 40 minutes long, because you've got all these different phase lines you've got to meet, but you're still moving and making sure everyone's doing their thing while all this weight is still on you. It's like I remember the first time I picked up one of the team leaders on my first deployment. I picked up his flak. He had an Inviter, which is the like a little black from like Vietnam era radio for internal comms, and then we had the 150s for Harris. It's like a newer radio at the time. It was newer. I don't know what they if they use that anymore, but it's like it's about this big. It's just and and he had the 203 with all of his 203 rounds, and then everything else was pretty standard. I remember picking up his flak one time because I was like, "Hey, Corporal, you can relax. I'll go get this." And so I put on his flak because it was the closest thing. He's like, "All right," and it had the radio, so because we needed the radio. And I was just sitting there looking. I was like, "Damn, dude, this is your flak? This is like a million times heavier than mine, just because of the 203 rounds and the radios." And it's like it was surreal. And it's like I look back on those moments, like when I'm just hiking up a mountain, I'm like, I don't know how I did it back then or how anybody does it now. It's pretty wild.
It's a young man's game, Angelo. It's a young man's game. The regiment always chooses the younger man, so
Yeah.
it's always good. Well, shoot, buddy, that's a good one, man. That's all I need, bro. I just wanted you to come on here and kind of elaborate on your comment. I appreciate it. I'll get it together.
Yeah.
It may go out Sunday. I'm doing a women in the military video tomorrow, so
Oh, nice.
it's gonna.
My wife is a Navy JAG.
Oh, is she really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you married up, my
Uh,
dude. You married
yeah,
up.
I did.
Keep.
Hey, I met her. I met her in law school, so I was like, "Oh yeah, you're
Are
going
you?
Navy JAG."
You're a lawyer now too.
Yeah.
What are you
Yeah.
doing?
I'm doing tax law right now. But it's funny because like your videos and all your shorts started popping up. I put in my application for the Navy JAG 3 times. I've got accepted as an alternate on the third one, and they bumped it up to primary. And then as soon as I get the primary and they give me a call and everything, your videos, your shorts started popping up on my YouTube feeds and stuff like that. This was back in September, October, and I was like, huh. And so I started watching them, and yeah, it was pretty
Are
wild.
you good now?
Yeah, so I'll leave for ODS in a hopefully the end of the month,
Okay.
June.
We have a whole
Yeah.
JAG pipeline. Like we got a whole bunch of JAGs. It's a phone call. That's all it takes. We make a phone call, put you on the phone with some people, and then you be on your way. We got the JAG Corps locked down.
It was a lot of trial and error for me.
Yeah, but I mean that's why we doing what we do, right? Like if you had called me, I'd been like, here, call this young lady right here. She's not young, she's a colonel, but call Colonel, and she'll take care of you and get it done. So
Yeah.
awesome, brother, man. You need anything? Reach out. Easy day. I see you bumping around. Jump in the Discord. Are you in a Discord?
I have a Discord.
Okay, so like we building a whole community over there, man. Ex-vets. So we're gonna have a vet mental health page over there. I got a bunch of shit already over there, but we're gonna build out a lot more stuff because we're opening up game school and we're opening up West Coast Vikings lifestyle. And that's based on an Army infantry dude that's got 3 deployments that kind of lost his way. And his best friend basically was like, no, you come and live with me. We're going to fix this. And so it's really kind of the culmination of their 2-year journey. So we're going to help a bunch of people. Right. So I encourage you to get on Discord and check it out, man. Like it's going to.
Yes, sir.
And there's a Marine Corps page. There's a bunch of pages on there you would be a value in. There's I think there is a JAG page already. So I'll send you the link. It's in all my video descriptions. Every one of my video descriptions is the Discord's in there. So, all right, brother, you need anything, reach out, man. Thank you for your time, Angelo.
No problem. Thank you.
All right. Hey,
Have a good one.
wait a minute. Listen, I'm going to end this. Hang on. Let me end this.